Hey everybody and welcome. I'm Cindy Daychuk with Queen Bee Creations and thanks for tuning into the channel. If you have already subscribed, thanks. If you haven't, I invite you to. Try and come at you at least twice a week, Mondays and Fridays, and sometimes bonus videos, depending upon how many ideas I got going and how quickly I can get filming and editing, which is always my slow down. Today's video is a bit of a tutorial rather than an actual craft or activity because I get tons and tons of questions about using colored waxes. I think everybody's comfort zone is clear, right? It's kind of a no-brainer. But when it comes to other colors and how to use them and what their effect is, I think it creates a lot of anxiety for people. So I have a bit of a cheat sheet I'm going to be referring to, things that I want to be able to show you, and I've got a bunch of boards prepped. So this is just some molding, just so that I've got some highs and some lows, and I've got them painted out, a variety of colors, just to be able to show you some contrast so that you get a bit of an idea. Now I think that everybody is pretty clear about, okay, if you're going to do black waxing or you're going to do colored waxing, do it over a clear coat of wax, because then you can take it back if you want to. That's not always true, and it's not always necessary. And so we're going to play with colors without clear waxing. But almost always with white, you're probably going to clear wax. So I just have clear wax on my brush. And for this, I'm just going to be using chip brushes rather than big wax brushes, just because I want to get it down into the molding. And the only reason I say that with white is because if you still want your piece to kind of look white, you're probably going to want to put clear on first. But there are times and exceptions to doing that. So I'll give you a bit of a clue on this. But I want to give you an idea of what black wax, and I've got all my waxes lined up here. So just know I'm dipping into black wax over here now. And on this side, let's do a bit of black wax. So we put the clear on as a bit of a protection. And I'm just using my brush to kind of get it down into those grooves. Okay, leave that over there. And then I am taking a rag, and because it's black, I'm going to take a dirty rag, and I'm going to wipe it back. So you can see already that even with that clear on there, my white isn't going to go white again. I'm going to have a bit of that worn, aged look to it. And this white, the paint colors, this was bead board by DIY that I had painted this board. I mean, I get that these boards already come white, but I wanted to be doing this over paint for you. Okay, so you can see it gives like that worn, weathered wood kind of look, which is lovely, but not always what people are looking for. So even though I did this over a white wax, it doesn't protect it that much. If you wanted to have this even whiter, you could do it over a poly acrylic, and then it's not going to go in. I've dipped my finger into some clear wax now though, and I want you to see how I can start to erase some of that a little bit more by using the clear wax. See the difference in the color? So your clear wax, when people are saying you can use your clear wax as a bit of an eraser, that's what they're talking about, right? So let me get a little bit more, and I'll do one of the knobs, and you can see the difference, right? I can take it back cleaner that way, okay? So clear wax is always going to be, it's always your friend, but it's also a bit of an eraser for you. And you can get that kind of aged look with that black wax sitting down in there. Now let's do kind of the same thing. And let me just grab a couple more towels maybe. I have my whole box of them sitting behind me here. So just as we get going. So what if we were doing a colored wax? So I have a turquoise wax, which is shipwrecked by DIY. Because again, this is a totally different ballgame, right? This isn't like your black or your brown. This is a beautiful turquoise, and I'm getting my waxes over top of everything here. So let me start moving some of my boards because I'm flicking. You can see the flicks of this. So same thing, we're gonna wipe it back. But I want you to see kind of the different look that having a colored wax, sorry, just easier for me to do this, facing myself here. Look at the difference, but look how awesome that can be too. So, you know, here, all you're doing is you've got the white paint and different colored waxes, and look at the difference that it creates, but how beautiful that can be on like a piece of furniture or something, right? So I think that's sometimes what people are missing is how much of a difference wax can make to your piece, right? Depending upon the look that you're after, the feel that you're after, but also what color of wax you're looking to use, right? Just the difference between those two takes it from a little bit funky to a little bit more aged. And this is nothing but your white paint and two exactly same technique, using it over the clear and using two different colored waxes. So just having, and again, you know, in a DIY line, you've got the clear, you've got the white, you've got the dark wax, which is a brown, and you've got the black wax. And I'm using the black to show you today just because I think it's the scarier of the two. People are like, black wax, no, no, no. So already we've got this. So I'm just gonna write on the back. I've got beadboard, clear wax on it, and I'm doing the turquoise wax and black wax. Because now that I'm doing it for you, these become samples in the shop for, you know, customers if they want to be able to see. So let's put that one off to the side. And let's go to not just a black board. And here, let's kind of do the same thing. We'll do half of it in white and we'll do half of it in turquoise. But I am not going to clear wax this. I could, but I want to show you a little bit what it can look like without. I love white wax over just black paint. Okay, it creates a very much like a weathered wood kind of look. It definitely takes it into the gray because again, now you're mixing colors. Okay, just wanted to get that wax down in there. And we're just gonna grab a cloth and we're gonna wipe this off. So I tried to get some molding that had a bit of raised surfaces and also a little bit of a flat surface for you so that you can see. So you see the difference between just the flat black and then doing the white wax. It's gonna sit down into the lows. You have the, you know, you can kind of take off or put on as much as you want. If you don't want to have any of it grayed, then again, you could put your clear wax on first to help you be able to move it. Let's do the turquoise. So I gotta tell you, this is such a cool look. That deep turquoise with the black, which most people aren't gonna think of, but you're starting with that same color, right? It's the same black, but look how much variation you can get by just changing the look. I mean, so how much variation you get in changing the look of it by just changing out the waxes. So cool in terms of just that shape, just that look in just those two waxes, right? So what about colored? So this color is Sea Glass by DIY. It has not been sealed at all. So it's just the raw paint. And let's take a look at it with both the white and the clear. And I'm just thinking, I'm gonna put a clear base on this one, just because it's barely dried. So let's just get a little bit more of the color to show on this. DIY paint, right? So it brings back the color once it's got some. Okay, and let's try white. So I just want to swirl it to get it down into those grooves. Just looks very stark right now. And let's wipe it away, leaving it down in those lows. Now you could go back in and you could add a little bit of the white here, and you might want to take like where's a separate brush, just a clean brush, and after you've wiped a bunch of that away, you might want to add in a little bit perhaps of that white again, just to get a bit of a smokier effect on it. But you can see that I can do that, or then I can start to wipe a little bit more of it away. If I wanted to have even more white showing in the flats, then I could choose not to wax it first. But I just want to show you, even with some of your bright colors, what these colored waxes can do. And how just that wax, how much that changes the look and the feel of the piece. So look at the difference here. This is a much moodier piece. This is a little bit more light and bright. It's just awesome just with wax. And they end up looking like two different colors as the base, just because of the impact of the wax on there. So let's go to a lighter color, Apothecary. So here, let's do it without any of the clear wax. So now we're really going to be altering this. So let's do white on one side, because Apothecary and white wax is one of my favorite blends here. So we've got the white wax, and because we didn't have any of the clear wax below, it's going to sink into the Apothecary, and it's just going to really soften that color out a lot. But the other side, I want to try, and I have not tried this before, so I'm interested in seeing. I want to try some of the Shipwrecked. I want to see what the turquoise ends up looking like over top of this, which in my head I think I'm going to love, but I haven't tried it on a piece yet. So as long as I'm playing for you guys, I'm playing for me here too, because we've all got stuff to learn. Oh, you guys. Oh, I think this is a new favorite of mine. Oh my gosh, look at that. I love that. So that Apothecary, let me take maybe a little bit more of the white off the other side. That pale kind of really light sagey green with that turquoise over top of it. Oh my gosh. And because I didn't seal it with the, because I didn't seal the paint with the clear wax at all, it was just that raw paint, it kind of absorbs some of that color to it. Look at that. Oh, I love that. Okay, I didn't write down on the other one, but this is obvious. This is with white wax, and this is with the turquoise wax. Oh, yeah, I'm loving that one. That's a favorite. Okay, now we're gonna do the same on the pink, and I'm not gonna seal it. So this is Kissing Booth, big bright color. Let's see. So we're just gonna do the white wax. Pink and coral and 57, okay. So let's try this. Okay, that's very pretty. So you can see with just the white wax what it does. But I want to try the turquoise on it now. I want to see what, oh, other side. Let's see what it looks like. I'll try and leave a little strip of just the pink in the middle. So you can get a sense of the original color. So you can see what it looks like now. But because we know that's gonna kind of change a bit of the color of our pink a bit, it's gonna, oh, very kind of bohemian, guys. Right? So very kind of bohemian, a little bit darker, a little bit more moody. That's pretty cool too. And you know, any of these finishes are really going to be driven by what's the piece of the furniture, what's the mood I'm trying to create, right? So this is white wax, turquoise wax. Okay, now what I want to talk a little bit about is the fact that you can make some of your own colored waxes. So we're going to do that right now. I'm going to take a scoop of, a healthy scoop, just because if I'm making it, I might as well make a bunch. So I'm doing a healthy scoop of white wax, and just, that's what I got. Use my finger as a tool. Okay. And then I have, this one happens to be Violaceous. This is a pigment powder from DIY, and there are 12 of them, maybe 10 pigment powders and a couple of mica powders. So you can add this to your paint to intensify colors, to be able to change the colors, mix your own colors. You could use this dry as a powder over top of maybe some wet wax in your finishing. You could add it to your top coat. We're gonna add it to wax. Now I'm gonna add it to white wax, so I make it a little bit more opaque. You could add it to clear wax to make it a little bit more translucent. And think about as well the mica powders. There's a couple of the mica powders, like in the silver, like the New Year's and that kind of thing, that you may want to add to maybe your clear wax to add a little bit of a shimmer and a sparkle, or maybe to your top coat as you go. So we're going to add, they're fairly intense. I don't know how much I need. I added less than a spoonful. I added 2 little things. So we'll see as we go when I stir this all up. But we're gonna make a purple. And with all of the different pigment powders that there is, you have so much room to create virtually any color. Now I'm gonna want this, see, I've barely scooped any out. I'm gonna want it a little bit more intense than this, I think, for you to be able to see. But you can mix any of the pigment colors. So maybe you're mixing one of the, like the violet with some of the pinks to be able to create your own. And just think of the looks that you create by virtue of that. Okay, so close that up before I knock it all over. And let's see. All right, so I have a board that has petticoat pink and cowgirl coral, because I thought they might be interesting to see with the purple. So I have this purpleized wax. And heck, we might as well just do the whole board all at once. Double reveal. And I have not seen purple wax on this. I haven't seen what it ends up looking like on these. So you're seeing along with me, because as long as I'm playing, I might as well experiment and learn something along the way too. Okay. Let's see. So we're just gonna lightly wipe it off. And see what that light purple ends up looking like. It's like whipped butter. Just once I stirred it up, it got really frosting like. So this is it over the petticoat pink, and this is it over the cowgirl coral. Look at the different impact of that light purple on those. How cool is that? So think about the possibilities with any of the pigment powders of where you can take this, how you could intensify it. You know, the other option that you have is to, hang on, take a dry brush, dip it into that pigment powder, and I could now take that down into any of that wax that I've got and make it even stronger. So you've got a lot of flexibility. I mean, those pigment powders are such an awesome development in terms of really extending out the colors and the amount of play that you have with that and what you can do. It's just incredible. So don't be afraid of those, but also, you know, don't be afraid of how you can switch out your looks. So now that we've got this covered in wax, I have one that's half black, half white. Let's see what the purple looks like on these two. Just because, why not? So it's just kind of get it down in there. And there's like, you know, in these colors, there's like the bright yellow and the bright green. I mean, these are very vibrant and designed to be able to add to your color palette and really be able to extend out what you do, whether it's on canvas art or furniture or your smalls. I mean, think about these for candlesticks, right? That you're looking to add in a little bit of a different color into any of those things. Look at that. So, I mean, this isn't huge, but it takes it a whole different direction than, you know, if we look at here, look at the difference on the black. This is the white, that's the turquoise, here's the purple in the blacks. And then with our whites, let me hold this up. Maybe better if I did them the same way around for y'all. Okay, so let me do this. And there. So you can see the black over here by my baby finger and then the turquoise, the purple, and then the other three in the blacks. Just the variation, even on that white. Look at the difference between that purple, how it takes it into a much more feminine look, right? That's the power of wax, is how much variation you can get. Oh my goodness, I'm looking at my shirt in front of. Okay, that's another one for the wash. Covered in little bits of wax all over the place, but I tell you, you know, this is just so much fun in terms of what the possibilities are. Now, I have old 57. Okay, let's try, I'll try and do a halfer here, because this is one of my favorite colors. So this, look at that color combination. Like, just, who doesn't want to know what that looks like? Okay, let's do one more. So let's do the purple on that side, and I'll do some turquoise on the other, because it's very much in the same family there, right? That turquoise wax and that old 57. I don't know why I haven't tried it, because I'm looking at that going on and I'm kind of going, ooh, those look like they were made for each other. Okay, so let me do the purple. I'm gonna get these both wiped off and then show you. Tipping it over. I gotta tell you, that actually is really lovely. Just that pinky purple with that old 57. Let me get a little bit more of the old 57 showing through. I'm surprised by that. That looks kind of cool. I could see being able to do that on certain pieces. So really what I wanted to do with these guys is get you starting to see and understand. Like, look at that, look at the purple coming up here, right? Just here's some more of the purples, and just being able to mix your own waxes, how much that extends some of your finishes and some of your colors, how much it impacts the look and the feel of your piece, right? This is your white and your turquoise wax on that apothecary, which was that soft kind of sagey green color. There's just so much power at your fingertips with this. Don't be afraid to play. And if you're not sure, then buy a piece of molding, cut it up into small pieces, and play with it a little bit yourself. Keep some of these on hand. So if you're looking at a furniture piece you want to try, or a candlestick, you have some ideas of what these look like. I mean, if you're near my shop, I'm going to hang on to these now. I'm writing the names down so that customers can see them. But really, I've had a lot of you asking about some of the colored waxes, and oh, I can't use any of them without clear wax. And there's no rules, guys, right? It's just if you don't have the clear wax down first, then the paint is going to absorb more of it. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, because you create a whole new color by virtue of that. This was not sealed. So you can see how it took on a little bit more of that pinky purple hue down here. It softened the color of that old 57. Here it darkened it a little bit. So it's not a bad thing. Don't be afraid of that. Waxes are awesome and really are my favorite finish over poly. I'll use poly. If clients want poly, I will do poly. I use poly sometimes very deliberately and specifically, especially for me, if I'm doing a countertop or a dining room table. I mean, I'm putting poly on the top because it's going to take a lot of abuse. So I need to have some of those multiple layers built up. But when I can, I'm using wax. Look at how beautiful and versatile a tool this is. Let me know what you're thinking. Does this give you more possibilities? Does it still scare you? What else can I share with you? What else do you need to see or hear from me? I'm more than happy to help out with some of these videos to get you exploring just some more of the basic tools and seeing where they can go. How you can use some of the powders to be able to extend your repertoire even of different waxes that you might want and you might need. As always, guys, I hope this helped. I hope that you got some inspiration and you are racing to start adding some color to some of your pieces. And until the next video, take care.